Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network.
Whoa. Dang it.
And I'm here, Colin, how are you?
It's just, I just am never ready for that. I'm okay. How are you? I'm kidding.
I almost did the regular intro as a, you know what, fuck it, no. I'm going all in.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, exactly. But I need that motivation because we're talking about... so I mentioned in our review of the post that we would be talking about a movie that might be on my top 10 list this year.
Me as well.
And we're talking about Tonya with... So let's just get this out of the way. I've been saying since The Wolf of Wall Street that Margot Robbie can't act. I'm just like, she's a blonde Megan Fox. That's actually exactly what I called her, was a blonde Megan Fox. And she's really hot. Actually, Megan Fox isn't hot. So Margot Robbie's just hot, and that's like it. And even as Harley Quinn, she could never keep her fucking accent going. I'm just like, who the fuck cares? Just, you know.
It had nothing to do with the fact that she was in a DC movie, I'm sure.
Don't do that. Don't get people talking about, you're a dick, you know? You would do that. Like, oh, if she was Black Widow, you think she's the best.
That's your words, not mine.
God damn it. Stop spinning your nerve. Fake news.
But I agree with you. She hasn't really done. I actually thought she was good in Wolf of Wall Street. Like, I thought she was good in that role. But yeah, since then I haven't ever been particularly impressed by her, for sure.
What, you didn't like her in The Legend of Tarzan?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that's correct.
Shocking. But I gotta say, man, so I remember I was like 6 when this was happening, and I don't think I really understood the gravity, like, of the situation at the time. It's like, oh, whatever, it's these girls skating, who cares? But, like, getting older, I remember at a point I went back and kind of just, like, looked up on it because I was curious, and this was, like, right around the time that 24/7 News, like, launched, and, like, I remember hard copy. As a kid, hard copy was like the shit back in the day. It was like anytime something big was happening, hard copy was right there. And you know, as a kid, it was fascinating. But
yeah, I remember it was a big deal with my mom. I was like I don't think my dad cared at all, but I think my mom was just like, oh my god, Nancy Kerrigan can't compete.
Well, the thing is, it's kind of like whatever, who cares? But then when you find out that just, you know, oh, this national treasure was like bashed in the knee.
Yeah, and when it unravels, it is really like it's like, oh my god, this is a crazy story.
Yeah, and so I gotta give some props here though. Margot Robbie, like I said, I've been saying, I'm just like, whatever, she's hot, who gives a shit. She is. I don't know if I can go Oscar worthy, like Oscar nomination material, but this is one of the best performances I've seen for this year. I mean, yeah, kind of your thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. I think she deserves it. I thought she was really good in this role. She definitely plays, you know, a different style of character than she has. It's, you know, she's very white trash, obviously, like this Oregon white trash girl, and I don't know. I thought she was awesome in it, and she's plays this character where it feels really authentic. Where she's mixed up in the head. She's clearly not very wise. You know, she doesn't make good decisions when it comes to men or how to deal with her anger and all of that. But she still is passionate and like intense when it comes to her figure skating, and I thought she portrayed all of that like very, very well. Definitely.
I mean, I mean, I'd still fuck her. Like, don't get me wrong, but
even with the white trash haircut.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Put a little Journey in the background wouldn't stop me at all. But
She was kind of like she was looking kind of like early like Britney Spears-esque. I thought.
I think that was wow. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I was kind of thinking young Christina, but whatever. Yeah, same difference. But
Right.
yeah, she was really attractive. But it was interesting to see. I think what really sold me on this movie was just she does have to play so many different roles to Tonya Harding. She has to be, really confident to the point of being, a cocky asshole. When she went up to one of the judges and said, "Suck my dick," I was dying. I was like, "Holy shit, okay." Like, damn, girl. But she has to be really vulnerable too. I mean, there's points where she's talking to her mom, played by Allison Janney, and God, we want to talk about rewards. We'll get to her in a second.
Oh God, yeah.
Where she has to really play off her mom, Lavona, and some of those scenes are heartbreaking. They're intense. They're moving at points. It's crazy, and then just seeing her work with who will always be known as James Buchanan Barnes. He'll always be Bucky to me, but Sebastian Stan. Dude, he's really starting to like carve out a real good niche for himself. He was in. It's funny. He was in that movie with Melissa. Oh God, I can't think of the girl's last name.
McCarthy.
No, damn it. The girl from Big Bang Theory, Melissa Rauch. That's it.
Okay.
Bernadette. God, she's fine. But he was in the movie of her, The Bronze. And I fucking hate that movie, The Bronze, because I think she was just really bad in it. But he's really good in it, and that was about figure skating. So it was just funny to see him playing another person in this figure skating movie. But he's fantastic in it. Like he plays this. Good. Like you could see his character being in like Logan Lucky. You know what I mean? Like he's really like he's very much kind of that like that red
dim-witted, and it's like I love the trend of. I mean, it's the trend of just like everybody's like not very bright, and then they just can't deal with their anger. Like that's like the whole like culture is everybody just like freaks out and wants to just fight everybody, hit, slap, punch, stab. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of intense, and I will say the scenes between. So this movie is really funny. I would almost compare it to like. It's so dark, but it's kind of like it's like Death to Smoochie kind of like it's very funny, but it's dealing with really dark subject matter like like a potential career-ending injury and like abuse and assault and these things where it's very much these aren't funny subjects to tackle, but the movie makes them funny. Sebastian Stan, when him and Margot Robbie are in the same room together, Tonya and Jeff, their relationship is so volatile. I just kept hearing "Love the Way You Lie" as I was watching it. I'm like, this is like the theme. This is like the movie set to that soundtrack because their relationship is so volatile. And when he hits her, dude, it is like cringe. Like, oh my god, shit. Like these aren't like wrestling love taps. Like he's smacking the shit out of her, and it's hard to watch, man. And I almost have to give the movie. I have to give the movie like, credit in that sense because the scenes are uncomfortable, but they're supposed to be, and it really sells like Tanya's hard exterior. Kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but they like you said, they're adding humor to it, which I loved. Like the way they did it. Like the scene may be intense, but they also have this other component of the film that's throughout where they have. They will cut back and forth from these interviews that were taken like after everything was said and done, like, and people are like it's supposed to be like the real life counterparts, still played by the actors, but they're it's like they're reminiscing for an interviewer on all of these situations, and they're it's kind of like they'll downplay everything, which just adds humor to all of it, but I love the way that they portrayed their relationship together and how intense it got, because it just really showed, what she was dealing with when on the way to becoming, an Olympic athlete, it really like makes her story that much more unbelievable and impressive, really.
So I remember when this movie, and full spoilers for this because it fucking happened, but I will say at the end of the movie, I didn't hate her as much as I think the movie. That's not fair. I don't even know if the movie wants you to hate her. I feel like the movie. First off, you again nail on the head. God, you're just on it today, Colin. The way the movie's presented in that kind of that pseudo documentary style, it is very funny. It's a very interesting take on the movie, and I think that with the movie itself, it helps it be a little easier to digest. This was 2 hours. I didn't feel like it was 2 hours. I was like, wow, that just kind of flew by. Shit.
Yeah,
okay.
Totally flew by.
But they pack a lot of information in within 2 hours. So the movie kind of uses the documentary to kind of elevate it, and be able to jump around multiple points. And it works really well.
And it also breaks the fourth wall at certain points, like during scenes, kind of a la like The Big Short, where like Ryan Gosling will start talking to the audience. She'll be like, Margot Robbie will all of a sudden look at the camera and she'll be like, "This actually happened," or she'll be like, the guy will be like, "I didn't actually do this," you know what I mean? So they're exactly. They're pointing out that this could have happened this way. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. People say it didn't. Some people say it did. Like, it's up in the air. It's contentious. But that being said, like, this is the movie. Like, this is the dramatized version of what happened. And I love that about it. I love that it doesn't take itself too seriously, because a lot of these stories are always just dramatic recreations of, biopic type stories. And sometimes when, those stories take themselves too seriously and they're just like, this is how it all happened, fact for fact, that's never true. And I like that this movie just kind of like, was poking fun at itself, being like, yeah, obviously we don't know exactly what happened, but, who cares? This is what happened.
Yeah. So humor me, I have to ask you, when you said that it reminds you of The Big Short, were you going to say House of Cards and you audibled, or did you have Big Short in mind the whole time?
No, I was gonna say Big Short because I was actually thinking of Ryan Gosling when he always. I actually haven't seen much of House of Cards.
Oh, okay, because I was just sitting here. I'm like, Colin doesn't want to make a Kevin Spacey reference, so he went Big Short.
No, I didn't. No, I was thinking Big Short from the beginning because Margot Robbie has that little cut scene in it. And this movie kind of just reminded me of The Big Short to begin with, because The Big Short is obviously a biopic as well. It doesn't take itself too seriously. There's lots of humor in that. This movie is like the first movie that's really reminded me of a movie that was made in that same way, like a biopic comedy drama.
Okay, fair enough. I was just curious. You were like, Kevin Spacey, yeah, but so the movie itself is interesting because it really does take Tonya from her very early humble beginnings, as a kid, even where Allison Janney. Or Verona, I believe is the name of the mom. She needs an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She's so good in this, and I was just sitting there the whole movie, and I appreciate this, where the movie really just shows her, and she the mom is such a cunt. She is so fucking horrible to her daughter. And the movie, like, there's this one point at the end where I was almost begging the movie. I'm like, don't you make her, like, don't try to redeem her. And I thought, oh, they're going to redeem her. And then the movie goes, nope, we're not redeeming her at all. Like, she's still a cunt, don't worry. And there's a scene where she throws a knife into Tonya's arm.
It's a great scene.
I'm like, good God, woman. And before that, she hits her, like, a couple times. And she's hitting her even as a kid. And not, like... Even Adrian Peterson would be like, calm down a little bit. Like, it's just, like, it's violent.
I love that scene, though, when she throws the knife, because, like, they're, like Tanya's, like, getting hit, and, like, it's just, like, she's yelling, and they're in a big argument, and it's just, like, kind of business as usual, right? And then, like, once she throws the knife and it goes into her shoulder, like, it goes dead silent. because it's like, okay, something, this has changed, this is different now, and then she just like leaves. She's like, okay, this isn't okay anymore. Like, I can take getting hit and beat, but if you're gonna start stabbing me, like, I'm not gonna like live with you or be your daughter anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and what's even more tense, and it's so well shot, is she doesn't say anything. She just takes the knife out of her arm, puts it on the table, and the mom even looks at her like, "Oh wow, I fucked up." And
she
Tonya,
even knows.
And Tonya just walks by her. I went, "Wow, that was so intense that you didn't have her freak out or anything." She just walks past her, and dude, I love that scene.
It makes it even worse. Like, it makes like they're always yelling at each other, but like right when it goes dead silent, that I'm just like, that's even more uncomfortable than them screaming at each other. I was like, that was well done.
Like, that was really well done. And then there's that scene where when she's a kid, where she tells her like, I have to go to the bathroom. She's like, I pay for you to skate and I have to go to the bathroom. And so
that was terrible.
And so I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I was just, you can finish describing the scene. I was just commenting. I was like, this scene was terrible.
Oh yeah, and she pees herself, and the mom just goes skate wet. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I know, it was awful.
And I just thought, and the thing is, like, I think the movie, it's not trying to excuse what she did, but I think the movie really is like showing like, hey, like, you know, nature versus nurture. Nurture definitely plays a role, it heavily in Tonya's life. And I don't know, I left the theater feeling a lot more bad for her than I know the media initially wanted people to feel about her, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I think this movie was, like, a lot of it was trying to kind of, provide some sympathy for Tonya Harding. Like, hey, like, look what she had to deal with growing up. And then, it also kind of is there to explain, like, really how little of a part she did play in, Nancy Kerrigan getting her knee bashed in. Like, she never wanted that. She wanted to, I think she wanted to scare her at the most. But she certainly never wanted any harm to come to her. It's just because she was dealing with a bunch of idiots. And speaking of idiots,
my God,
one of my favorite characters is the big dude. Is that Sean? Is that Paul?
I believe that's Sean, yeah.
Yeah, Paul Walter Hauser. Dude, he is so funny in this movie. He plays the friend of Sebastian who is organizing, the mail to be sent out to Nancy Kerrigan. I think just in order to scare her, like a death threat or something, like the same thing that Tonya Harding got, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he goes a step further, obviously, in hiring these goons that end up,
Billy Club to the knee.
Yeah, just
like Jesus Christ, like the most, like even when sorry to interrupt you real quick, but when she gets hit, it's like good grief, and she just collapses. And I just thought, I was like, oh, like I've hurt my knee playing like balling before, and it's just the most, like I grabbed my knee, I'm like, oh, that sucks so bad for you.
Dude, but that guy who's organizing it all, the character Sean, I mean, oh my God, he had me rolling though, because he was such an idiot. And then the best is they show the real life version of that dude in an interview. Like, yeah, and he's exactly the same way. He's like completely oblivious to how much of an idiot he sounds like. He's trying to act like he's an expert in like espionage or something ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, all these people really exist in real life. I love it.
Yeah, he's insane. And what's crazy is that he's the one who fucks everything up. Like, he fucks them so royally. And you're just sitting there like, you guys might have actually gotten away with it if this one guy wasn't just so oblivious and dumb. Like, he's basically Kevin. Like, I wouldn't imagine if Kevin James could get fatter, which I know is a hard concept, but I think he would be him. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is Kevin James. If he thought he was True Memoirs of an International Assassin was real, like, it would be... Yeah. Like, it would be fucking Kevin James. And
And the real tragedy too is like that idiot and like the idiots that he like gets involved with to have all of this happen, like they cost Tonya Harding like everything. Like never to be able to skate again.
So I want to talk to you about that. Like when they handed down her sentence, so like I don't remember her like obviously what happened to her too well, but when they handed down the sentence, I went, suck my balls. Seriously?
That was bullshit, yeah.
Dude, she got... Okay,
book.
She got the book on books thrown at her.
But it wasn't... But it was like... It was even worse... So that scene, so when they hand out her sentence, that was like... The whole movie, I was like, Margot Robbie, she's actually a really good actress. But when they hand out the sentence and then she's like coming to the realization that she's never going to be able to skate competitively again, and she goes through that process, and she's like, I was like, okay, go ahead and give her the Oscar nom. Like, she was really good in that scene because I felt so bad for her. She was even like, no, I'll go to prison. Like, just send me to prison for 18 months. I'll take that. Just, let me skate again. Like, it was so like heartbreaking.
No, I was sitting and watching the scene, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too proud to cry. I got a little misty, man. I was sitting there, I was like, damn, okay.
Can you believe that Margot Robbie, like someone that you thought was like not even a good actress at all, could actually have a performance that you're like made you start tearing up?
Well, yeah, I usually tear up as when I'm looking at her pictures. Hi-yo, but anyways,
I don't even know if that makes sense.
I don't either. just go with it. It's fine.
Yeah, perverted joke. Got it.
Yeah, it's a perverse Margot Robbie joke here, but I digress.
Only the highest brow here at Real Pineapple.
Exactly, but totally negating my opinion. But no, that scene was so well done, and. Like even just like how her voice starts quivering, and she's just like she's crying, but she's not weeping. Like she's like trying, like like it's like you can see her face.
Yeah, she's almost in like denial. She's
God, you're so on it today, Colin. but
stages
yeah, it's
of
like
grief.
It's like she goes through every stage of grief in that like 5 minutes. It's crazy, and you're right. So she got not only banned for life, but she got 3 years probation, and then she got fined $100,000 on top of that, and then she had to pay what was like a $25,000 fee to like some like orphanage or something like that, like some organization. So I was like, God damn, okay.
And what was it?
Like,
was just like aiding and abetting or something, but I don't.
Yeah.
But they never proved that like she ever even wanted that to happen. Like
$25,000. I was like, good God, seriously? Like you could have just like banning her from skating was bad enough, but then like, oh yeah, 3 years probation. Oh, and you have to pay us, so you have no life essentially for 3 years because I couldn't believe it. How you just threw everything.
And what did she end up doing after that? I forget.
She ended up getting to
or did she just start working at a restaurant? Or no? Yeah. What did she start doing?
Yeah, she was a waitress, like her mom. Remember, because she was like
okay.
But then she like the movie.
No, but then she. Oh yeah, go ahead. But she ended up doing something else, right?
Yeah, she ended up doing like like landscaping is what she's like doing now. Apparently, like the movie. Says,
I thought she was competing. Oh, she was boxing. She started boxing. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, so she started boxing. That was great.
Yeah, but so what's funny is the scene where where she does a breakdown. I thought that scene was really well done. I really did love that. But the scene that I went, wow, I know what I'm giving this is when she's talking about the boxing. She says, well, look, I've always been, being abused is all I know. So like I might as well get paid for it. And then when she's talking about like the reporters at her house, she basically says like America was like fanning the flames, and she goes it was like all of you abused me, and I went holy shit. I my heart just sank. I was like, God damn! First off, fuck of a line. Number one,
and she like stares you right in the eye too. Like she's like looking directly in the camera. Like she's like you the American public, the consumers. You're the one that found me guilty before even before anybody else gave me a shot to be innocent.
Yeah, I mean, I think even Harvey Weinstein will feel a little something. Like, well, actually, probably a little something, but in another way.
Yeah, he probably uses that scene while she's making eye contact to do other things.
Jesus Christ. Highest brow comedy here.
Yeah, sheesh.
But, is there a barista here? Because it just got dark.
Oh, boy.
But I digress. But that scene, my heart just sank. It was like he was scolding me. I was like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know.
But
it's uncomfortable for sure.
But yeah, it feels really uncomfortable. And again, I just want to throw it back. Sebastian Stan's Jim. Like at first, he's a bit of a dullard, but he seems to love her, But then just one day he accidentally hits her, and then they end up fucking afterwards, and then like he hits her again, and then they end up fucking, and she's just like, oh, this is just how it is. But to see Jim just snap, and good God, does he snap? There's that point where he like kicks her door in and like acts like he's gonna shoot himself. I'm like, oh man, this is all right. shit. All right, that's what we're doing. It's crazy, and he's just so. He's so good in this. And there was that point, like I said earlier, I really liked him. I went, oh. And then later on, I was like, oh, you fucker. Like, why you treat her so badly? But, yeah, what did you kind of think about Mr. Stan?
Oh, Stan?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, he was super chill. He just played that part really well, where he was the boyfriend, but he loved her clearly. He wanted the best for her. He wanted her to win and do all that, but he was just tragically a victim of his own stupidity and his own aggression. His lack of ability to control himself because he just loved her so much.
I think, and I'm paraphrasing here, but when he basically says, like, I knew I fucked up when I realized, like, I cost her career or something to that effect. Like, just about how deeply that hurt him. And the fact is, he got 18 months and he only did 8. I was like, God damn. I was like, everyone got a break but Tonya, it seems like. Before I get to my final thoughts here, my grade, the one other thing I want to throw out is when her mom, like, goes and... like after everything's gone down, and Tanya's basically barricading herself in her house because all the reporters, and her mom goes and visits her, and they're having this moment. She's like, I'm proud of you, which is all Tonya ever fucking wanted from her cunt mother, was for her to be proud of her. And there was a scene earlier in the movie where she asked her, did you even like love me? And which broke my heart all over again. And she goes, like, I trained you to be a champion. I gave up, like, the concept of you ever loving me. That's the sacrifice I made. And she's like, I wish I had someone like me instead of my mother who's nice. And I was like, wow. I was like, God damn. Like, Tonya comes to her in just this weak moment. I was like, you fucking cunt. Like, why are you such a bitch?
She's so brutal. She's so brutal in this movie.
He's so mean to her, and I was like, no wonder you turned out the way you did. Just
yeah,
like I felt so bad. I was angry, honestly, and that's when and so to wrap that up, the mom goes to visit Tonya, and she like hugs her, says she's proud of her, and goes to leave, and goes, you can tell me, like, did you know about Nancy or what they're gonna do to Nancy? And she has a fucking tape recorder on her. And I was like, she was gonna sell that shit. It's like, you unbelievably evil human being. And just the movie just had me on edge, but in the best way. So just for me wrapping up here, man, I am happy to be wrong about Margot Robbie, at least in this movie. I thought she was amazing, and unlike in Suicide Squad, she kept her accent the whole time. So yay, good for you. But yeah, goddamn, between her and Sebastian Stan and the guy who played Sean, it was great, and Allison Janney, Bobby Cannavale is in here, and I fucking love Bobby Cannavale. So he's in kind of this like almost cameo role, but it's pretty funny. So I enjoyed seeing him. But yeah, this is a fan-fucking-tastic for me. I think it'll be lower on my list probably, but I think it's gonna crack my top 10. I enjoyed the hell out of this. So yeah, Colin, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
Nice. Yeah, I love the style of this movie. Like I said before, I kind of compare it to The Big Short and how it's that comedy, biopic, drama. It's just kind of like a newer genre of movies, and like I think there should be more movies done like this. I got to give a shout out to the director, Craig Gillespie. He did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
He did Lars and the Real Girl back in 2007.
I enjoyed that too.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot since then. I like $1 Million Arm, but it's more of like that family.
I do really enjoy $1 Million.
Yeah, I mean it's like that Disney family, overcoming adversity, fish out of water story, which is great. But this one is far and away his best. So kudos to him. He did a great job. And then, yeah, just all the acting performances. Allison Janney, I mean, she should be nominated, if not win. Margot Robbie should at least get a nomination. This movie's awesome. It's definitely... I don't know about definite, but this one has a real good shot to show up in my top 10. It's a fan-fucking-tastic for me. I had a great time watching this movie. 2 hours went right by. Thought it was great.
He did also direct Mr. Woodcock. That's one of my least favorite movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with Sean William Scott and Billy. I was gonna say Billy Ray Cyrus. That's not right.
Give him a break. That was his first That was a directorial debut. He's gotten better.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton. That's what I was gonna say. Billy. Mr. Woodcock would have been better with Billy Ray Cyrus. I can't say that. But.
And but speaking on Margot Robbie again, last thing from me, it's awesome to see how great of an actress she's become, and it looks like it's rumored that she's going to be starring opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in Quentin Tarantino's new movie in 2009. So super pumped for that. Or 2019.
Well, I'm just gonna say I need to see it one more time. Like, anyone can be good once. I mean, I'm not ready to make that leap and say she's a good actress. I just can't. I can't go there yet. So.
So that's what I'm saying. So we'll see her if these rumors are all going to come true, and it is going to be Margot Robbie and DiCaprio. In this, it's supposed to be in 1969 Los Angeles with the Charles Manson murders. That could be pretty sweet. Well,
I was gonna make a 69 joke about Margot Robbie, but I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna stop myself and show some restraint. But guys,
no, people don't listen for you to have restraint, Hunter.
I know. I'm sorry.
Gotta let those 69 jokes fly.
Yeah, insert own 69 joke there. But God, I'm curious people's thoughts on I, Tonya, because I had a couple people actually ask me, like, did you see it? And I was like, yeah, it's actually really good. They're awesome. So this is getting some buzz here. So it will be interesting to see if this gets a. I think the director should get a best director nod. I actually do for this. Like, if anything else, Craig Gillespie should get a best director nod. You heard it here.
Nice.
I stick by it, but
let's get it done, Academy.
There you go. But guys, let us know what you thought. If you've seen I, Tonya, let us know in the comments below. You can follow us here on SoundCloud, Podbean, iTunes, and Google Music. SoundCloud, of course, as well at The Real Pineapple. You can like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. Follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow our bud Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. And you can follow Colin on Twitter at
The Real O'Neill.
I like that. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this weekend for Detroit and for Bright. Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Later.